In this session, we will discuss about the path of a charged particle in a uniform magnetic field. So, what do I mean by uniform magnetic field? Let us say the B value is 2T. At every point in that magnetic field, the value is 2T. It doesn't change. Now, this path depends upon theta. We will have different scenarios here. Basically, when we are talking about magnetic force, it is dependent upon Q, V and B. So the V vector can be parallel to B vector, either in the direction or in the opposite direction. So we know that when you take the cross product, it is VB sin theta. So sin 0 and sin 180 are 0. So there will be no magnetic force. In the second situation, the V and B vector can be mutually perpendicular to each other. In that situation, the magnetic force will be BQV, because sin theta, sin 90 is 1. So when does this kind of situation come? Remember here, this V vector must be perpendicular to B vector all the time. So that type of situation will come only when this charged particle is moving in a circular path. You can see that I have shown B by a dot. In my previous lecture I have told you that if it is shown by dot, it means that the B vector is pointing towards you, and this V vector, you can see if it is moving in a circular path, it can be shown by the tangential direction, the velocity vector, but at every point of time this V vector will be perpendicular to the B vector. You need to do little imagination. So if the path is circular, then B and V will be mutually perpendicular to each other all the time. Now for any charged particle to move in a circular path, it must have some centripetal force, which is given by mv square by r. Now in this situation, the centripetal force is because of the magnetic force Fm. So I can equate these two and I can get an expression for radius, the orbital radius in which the charged particle is moving. So it is given by r is equal to mv by bq. mv means momentum of the linear momentum of the charged particle. It can also be written as root over 2 km by bq. What is this k? Kinetic energy. So kinetic energy, you can see that it is I can write it as half mv square, 2 into half mv square into m. So 2 get cancelled, it will become root over m square v square, which is nothing but mv only. In electrostat chapter, you learned that work done is q into v. Kinetic energy also is basically some work done by the particle. So we can write it as, in the place of k, you can write it as qv. So these are the three formats in which you should remember the expression for radius. Often they are useful in solving numericals. Now any charged particle, if it is moving in a circular path, it will have some time period. So you see here, this radius is dependent upon velocity. Okay. Now time period you can obtain by the expression 2 pi r by v. How did I get this? Omega, angular speed, is theta by t. Theta is 2 pi r. So from here I can write t is equal to theta by omega. Omega can be written as v by r, because v is equal to r omega. So if you rearrange, you will get theta r by v, or it is 2 pi r by v. If you solve this, in the place of r you put this earlier expression, you get t is equal to 2 pi m by bq. Do you find any v here? The answer is no. So the time period of the charged particle is not dependent upon the velocity. However, the radius is dependent. Similarly, if you find the frequency also, it is independent of v. You can find the angular speed also. it is omega is equal to 2 pi by t. You get this expression. Here also you see that there is no v in the equation, so only radius depends upon the velocity, and time period, angular speed and frequency are independent. This is a very important point. It is often tested in problems. Okay, so f is equal to 1 by t, it is bq by 2 pi m. So you need to remember these expressions. Basically we are discussing this kind of a situation. I have shown cross mark here. Cross means the magnetic field is perpendicular to the paper, this paper, and penetrating through the paper away from you. So the particle is moving in a circular path. It will have some velocity v0. So you can always find v0 vector as vxi plus vyi. When a particle is moving in a circular path, it will always have some x and y components. So this is our case number 2. Case number 1 was parallel, case number 2 is perpendicular. There will be a general case where the v vector is making some angle theta with the b vector. This basically reduces down to components. If you take v cos theta and v sin theta, basically when you are taking components, you can ignore this. You can independently tackle v cos theta and v sin theta. V cos theta, as you know, is a parallel component. It is similar to case 1. It is similar to case 1. Fm will be equal to 0. Now v sin theta is a perpendicular component. It is case 2, which we just now discussed. So you can use the expressions what we have derived there. This r is equal to mv by bq. What is this v? It is the perpendicular component. So in place of v, you need to write v sin theta. So r is dependent on v here, and as we discussed earlier, this t and f are independent of v. It doesn't matter the v is parallel or perpendicular or coming in an angle. So the same expression remains. So remember these expressions. We will see some numericals later.